Hey everybody, welcome back to another edition of Life Minutes. We're continuing in our look at the life of Christ. Today we're going to talk about Jesus and loving others when it is tough. Christ, in his Sermon on the Mount, gave marching orders to those who are his followers. And some of the words that he gave us, in all honesty, can be a real challenge to us. Now, in Luke chapter 6, Jesus' teaching in that chapter is very similar to Matthew chapter 5 through 7. It's either a condensed version of the Sermon on the Mount that he gave in Matthew, or Christ gave this message at another time. Regardless, some of what he said in Luke is this very similar to what he said in Matthew. And in Luke chapter 6, verses 27 and 28, Jesus told us some things that we need to keep in mind when we're having to deal with difficult people. In verse 27, he says, "But I say to you who hear, love your enemies, do good to those who hate you, bless those who curse you, pray for those who abuse you." Now I want you to think about this with me, that Jesus here is giving us, you might say, our response and what it should be to people who, well, maybe they don't like us. They're unkind to us. They get angry at us simply maybe because you're a Christian or because you don't agree with them on certain things. The list could go on and on. And most likely, from their perspective, they would see us as their enemy because they disagree, as I just mentioned, with who we are or what we might stand for. And so there are those people in our life that simply we encounter that are a real challenge. And I think it's okay at times to take a break from those individuals because they can wear you down, and we only have so much emotional energy that we can give to people. But Jesus does tell us when we have to have these encounters with people that may not be our best of friends, he tells us that we are to love our enemies. And how do we love our enemies? Well, we do good for them. Really? Yep. This is the doing good that Jesus says is an action phrase. So here's the challenge. Somebody who's maybe unkind to us at work or at school, we need to turn around and do something nice for them. You can offer to help them with something. You can buy them lunch, have it delivered. You can, do something gracious and kind. That is a challenge, isn't it? Doing good doesn't mean that you have to accept their treatment of you. As I said, there's a time that sometimes you have to push back, or not push back, but pull back from them. But we don't want to act towards them as they are towards us. We want to show a different behavior. We want to take the high road. In verse 28, Jesus says, "Bless those who curse you." That means to wish them well. Tell them to have a great day and mean it. Pray for them, he tells us. It's tough, isn't it? What I've learned is when I pray for the people that I struggle with or I have struggled with, it may not change them, though God can change their heart, but it can change me. And so here's Christ giving us words of advice for dealing with people who make life tough. We are to do good to them. We are to bless them. We are to pray for them. We are to be kind to them. And that can be a real challenge, but with the Lord's help, we can do it. So this week, look for an opportunity to do something gracious to somebody who maybe isn't always kind to you, or maybe in the midst of a bad day is treating us poorly. Don't lower ourselves to their standard. Take the high road and reflect Christ. And like I said in closing, sometimes we may have to put distance between us and them if we can, so that we don't have to deal with the things that just suck us dry emotionally and spiritually. But when we're put in a situation where we have to deal with these people, let's learn from Jesus. Just something to think about. Have a great day.